Good morning, students. I want to talk right now about variables in a Java program. What you're looking at in front of you is the simplest of Java programs, called 1.java. In its present state, it will compile and it will produce a class called 1.class, but it won't do anything. You write your Java source code, say it's named 1.java. Inside of that, usually you have a main method called public static void main, and then parentheses with a string array argument. You put capital S string, square brackets, and then a variable name such as A or S or whatever you want to use that's legal. And then I prefer that you use a constructor method which has the same name as you've named the class and public. So you'd say something like public1 curly brackets and close curly brackets. And inside of those curly brackets you could have something that will initialize the class, including any variables that you've defined. So far we've defined none. However, there are two ways that you can define variables. One would be inside of a method. The variables that you define inside of a method are accessible pretty much directly only by things that are going on in that method. However, if you want, you can have variables that are outside of methods, and those will be called global variables. You can add to those variables private if you don't want anything outside of the class or the program that you've just written, 1.java. If you don't want anything outside of itself to be able to access those variables. However, any methods that you define inside of 1.java, the class named 1, any methods in that will be able to access even private variables that are global to that class. Now, what would you do with such a thing? Well, one example that you could do with it is instead of it being a program that you can run, you could leave out the main if you wanted. What it would be used for then is it would be a class that would be instantiated or used by another Java program, such as this one, Mike.java, in which during its own initialization it says 1.0 equals new 1. Now what will happen is a copy of the running version of the class 1 will exist in the memory of the Java workspace, and it will be called O, as shown in this program Mike.java inside of its constructor, which is also called Mike or public Mike. The way that you access the global variables from within this particular method, I guess, or class, Mike, is that you would say O dot and then the variable name that you want to access from the class 1. Look it on the screen to see exactly what I'm talking about. That's all there is to it.